Hey, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Melanated Uncut. Uh, Before we really get into anything, I just received some breaking news, as I'm sure most of you have, that three people were killed not too long ago this evening at a hospital in Tulsa. The gunman came in with a rifle, went to the second floor, and murdered some people. And, it just hit me again because, the children in Texas are being buried. And I just keep reading articles about other little, you know, random mass shootings and stuff. And that's only what they're telling us about. So just extending condolences to everyone that's been impacted by this, whether directly or indirectly. So, tonight's show is entitled Melanated Melee. I like the sound of that.
I
Melanated
like
Melee.
Melee too, man. Melee. Melee is just confused mass of people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
what does that sound like a little bit sometimes?
You said what?
What does a confused mass of people sound like a little bit? Sound like us.
That is us. We so unclear about so many things, and I mean, we know what the root cause of it is. Not trying to beat a dead horse, but I mean, we know what it is. But we got to talk about this stuff. We got to get out of this mass confusion state. And that could be our saving grace, as a people, as a nation. Just kind of, pull back and really take a look at what we're doing and what we're saying and why we do the things we do, especially to each other. We are so hard on each other. Like it's so much chaos within our own race, within our own community.
Right.
And I don't even think we had a hand in it. We are not the root cause of the melee going on in our communities or within the black race. It's not our fault. But there have been things that have happened as a result of that, we need to take a look at. And, tonight we're talking about the whole dark skin versus light skin and good hair versus bad hair. Like, we've been going through this shit for over 400 years. Like it's 2022, but people are still on this stuff. It's
Probably
like,
longer than that.
yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what? You're right because even in Africa, like albino Africans, they were ousted, you know, out of their village. That was like some weird shit. Like, this ain't right. So the same concept, same exact concept.
Right. And I think that, we all have our, we're all different shades, melanated, complected, from the gamut, light, dark, medium. And I think we've all experienced it in some way, or feeling like, teased or something was wrong with our shade, our shade of brown, because basically we are brown, no matter what, people call us black, yellow, tan, whatever.
Right.
We've heard them all, um yeah, I too, Chanel, was the dark skinned kid. You would hear comments like, "Oh, you're so cute to be dark." Oh, you know what I'm saying? And but why is it you cute to be dark? Or why couldn't you just, why people can't just say, and and that's relative, not friends or peers. It's
Damn.
relative, and it's like, oh, and stuff like, oh, I'm glad you got long hair, I'm glad you got good hair, and those type of comments, and I feel like, what is good hair, you know
Right.
If it's yours, it's good. It's good
Yeah.
for you. That's for you. But you probably experienced on the other end of it. But I've heard every name for something dark in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
I mean, and like, how does that make you feel? Like this is coming from people who look like you, or people in your family. Like, and I'm sure that stayed with you over the years because certain shit has stuck with me too. You know, I remember in school being called, yellow girl, the typical red bone, even white girl. And I was called white girl for a couple of reasons because of my complexion. And also, like, I used to read the morning announcements, right, over the PA system at
you too.
school. Yeah. Were you a safety patrol too? Fucking nerd. But
Oh, so
anyway,
corny as hell.
and that's what the children used to, they used to call me white girl, like, oh, you just trying to sound white. You just trying to talk white. The fuck does sounding white? Like, what does that look like? What does that sound like? Like, I
Right.
understand why you say that, but I just like to enunciate my shit. It ain't got nothing to do with wanting to sound like white people or, want to look or act like white people or anything like that. Like, and people have told me, you the blackest light skinned girl I ever met.
Right. You are. Right. You know what's but, but hell, what is that? What is that, right? Because I'm
Right. I'm
like,
like,
you got more, you got more soul from my other ancestors and more soul in you in hell than I do. People automatically assume, you know what I'm saying. And you think that but yeah, the worst, and I know that the European people may have been thinking it, but the worst for me is that the people that look like me, whatever shade, were the people that were actually saying it. And I think that was one of the most hurtful things. You
mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm.
they would give you the most criticism. And
Yep.
hell, some of the people were darker than me, calling me black. And I'm like, what is that? You know, and I had no shame on it because luckily I had a parent. My father was really dark and never had any qualms about being dark. And
Yeah.
a lot of people in my like really close family were like, um, they said, to be darker, I guess you were more with being, I don't know, your soul or whatever. Because my sister was light. I had a sister that was very light, and then I
Yep.
had a sister that was right in the middle. And so
Same way. Me too.
and so it's always, people in the family was like, oh, she's so cute, talking about the light skin one. Oh, she's so cute, talking about the dark skin one. And I'm like, we just can't be beautiful. Everybody can't be
Period.
beautiful. And then again, we can go back to the slaves. They pitted against us because, rumor has it we weren't there. The darker complected people may have been working harder. The lighter
Yeah.
complected people may have been in the house doing things. But still, the point was they still were slaves.
True. And I think that thing is a misnomer that the light skinned slaves were treated better than the dark skinned slaves. Because the light skinned slaves who may have been in the house, yeah, they may have been in the house working and stuff, but like, can you imagine a man being raped repetitiously by a white man? Because
Right,
men were raped
right,
back then.
right,
It
right, right.
wasn't just the women.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
That was a thing, and it was to emasculate them, to make them feel inferior, or just because they were just gay and just wanted to do it. Because I'm a
Right.
man rape nobody just for fun, you know.
Right. And your white pale wife upstairs lonely in the bed, but she trying to get at the mandingo because you won't
Right,
fuck.
right. And isn't that funny though? I mean, it's just funny that whole process, but it made us, it pitted us against each other though,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's the bad part. And then we're in 2022, and we still pitted against each other. And
Yeah.
we were talking about this the other day about the brown bag, the brown paper bag test,
Yeah,
and
it was real.
hmm it was real. A lot of things were the brown paper bag, and I just wish, like, just if everybody just took one day, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna judge or talk about anybody's complexion, a week, and make it a month, especially black people, because it's
Girl,
one
we got issues for one day. We
right,
judging, in 30 minutes, most of us wouldn't be able to accomplish that feat.
right, and and that bothers me a lot, and the other thing we talk about, good hair and
Oh,
bad hair and straight hair, and for how long did we try to have straight hair to look like the Europeans, like, because that's what they said was acceptable, so that's what we said was beautiful.
girl, you just reminded me when I first started growing my locks, like, your shit looks crazy, right? Because nothing's really formed, it's just starting to develop. And I ran into someone outside of a convenience store. I hadn't seen them since school. And they're like, Carrie? I'm like, yeah. They're like, hey. He said, what the fuck did you do to yourself? I said, excuse me? He said, you just fucked yourself up. Your hair used to be so pretty. And like, I just stood there, frozen for a minute, thinking to myself, first of all, you sit up there talking some bogus shit about my hair, but you the one 20 some years old standing in front of Quickies drinking a 40 ounce asking motherfuckers for change.
No, we had, and he worried about your hair.
I'm worried about my hair.
But it's in us. It's in us and compounded that they told us what was beauty, right? They told us what was beautiful, and that's what we continued with the beauty that. So in our eyes, and because I've even had a conversation with, like, well, what makes natural hair not nice? What makes natural hair naughty or not a nice, not pretty hair? And they start to explain, like, they look like some shit. And I was like, no, because they put that in our minds that it looked like shit. But does it really?
Exactly.
Or is it beautiful? Or is it that the straight hair isn't cute? I mean, it's they put that in our minds, so we don't even know what's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful really. What's beautiful to them. They put that in, they forced that upon us, and we took it.
Right. I remember going, like, I think I was a teenager, and I went to the hair cuttery, trying to be cute, going in, get my hair. And a white girl did my hair. And you know what she said? She said, I really like doing black people's hair better than white people. And I'm like, why? And she said, because you all could do so much more with your hair than we can. We can't really do anything with our hair.
They trying to get waves, and we trying to get rid of waves. How about that? How about that?
What kind of sense does that make? It's like them trying to get big lips or permanent
Oh,
suntans
we trying
and
to suck out him. Can't
yeah.
stay out the sun. I mean,
And so the things that they look at us as being beautiful, which they will never come out their mouths and say that it's beautiful, are things that we look at as putrid, like just ugly. That's There's something wrong with our thought processes here, people.
because it's like people. I mean, because I just know, and I thank goodness I've never had my hair straight, and I have had a perm back, but
Yeah,
never had my hair straightened. And I listen to the stories about people having to have their hair straightened and grease and all the sizzling and burning hair, and I'm like, God dang.
girl, that Saturday before Easter, mm, or the night before the first day of school or something, that was torture. That was torture having to sit beside that stove and you see that hot comb on that eye and it's smoking and you smell this particular smell. And when my mom put that hot comb to my hair, or if I had to hold my ear back so she wouldn't burn me, it was like, am I gonna get burned? Am I gonna? Oh, but when she was done, child, I was shaking it like a white girl. You hear me?
Right, right. But you know, that's guess it's like when I got a perm. I think I probably was about, I don't know, 15, 16, 17. I don't know. I guess it wasn't a good job because it still was, still was, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't do it right. I don't know
You
because it still
sweated
was
that
up.
joint out.
You still sweat. Your hair still poofed out. Here. And it's like you brush it down and still poofed out. But, but it did make it. I got straighter than natural hair or whatever. Your natural hair.
Yeah.
But by the time I got to college, I was over it, yo. I was over it. I'm like, this is for the birds, and the twisting and unbraiding and braiding. I've been doing that stuff since the '80s, yo.
Look at that.
Since the
See?
'80s.
So either stuff never goes away or it does come back.
Right, right. And now to think like people like, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Your hair, the natural hair is beautiful. We put that picture up on Facebook with the natural with that beautiful white gray look.
Oh,
Now, you won't trying to dye it out. You won't trying to. You just being you. And I feel like that. Hopefully one day as melanated people, we all be like, oh, that's beautiful. We don't have to straighten our hair to go to work. You know, we don't have to wear what they say is acceptable.
exactly.
We stop condemning each other.
That's the main part for me. Like they gonna be them and do what they do, but we can change this up, y'all. We can change this up. Like, don't you think we experience too much from the outside anyway? Like, why do we keep putting ourselves through this internally?
Right, right. We as melanated people, we gotta, I don't know. Is it that we don't have? It's our self esteem or how we feel about ourselves, and we reflect it onto other people of color.
Bingo. Because if I don't like myself and I'm looking at you and you look like me, I don't like you either.
Right, right, right,
You know,
right,
like the Chanel. I wanted to say something about her comment. Um so many children. Like, and I've talked to some children before. Do you recall seeing that video of the little girl? I think it was her mother or someone was doing her hair and she was crying, saying she was ugly. I think it was her mom that was doing her hair or something, and she just started crying and saying she was ugly. And the mom was just speaking to her, in such a loving tone and telling her how beautiful she was. And I feel like these are things that we need to be telling our children from day one so that it sets up like a force field for them so that when they step into the world and hear this fuckery, they automatically know that's bullshit. I'm not listening to that. I know I'm beautiful.
right, right. And don't conform. Don't conform because someone else says this is how you should dress, wear your hair, or how you should look. Do what you want to do. Because I'll tell you the truth, Carrie. I had a problem when we were talking about the way people dress in the airport.
Oh, yeah.
And me, I'm like the bonnet. If you wear the bonnet on the outside, what's the point of the bonnet? I mean, I thought that was an inside thing to wear. If you going out with the bonnet on, looks like wearing pajamas. I'm thinking pajamas to go to bed and put your bonnet on. But if you just if you go out with your pajamas and your bonnet, I can't grasp that concept. And I don't think it's a black thing. I don't really think it's a black thing because
Because white people do it too.
right, I think you got your pajama pants on, and Well, where do you wear the bed? You just keep them on out there. What's the protocol to that? You know, that's
See,
bad.
it
Bad.
might just be us being out of touch with trends. Um, because I'm assuming that was a trend, to walk around with some cute pajama pants on. You know,
And the
we
bonnet.
was,
And the
huh?
bonnet. And the bonnet.
Well, see, I always did like the bonnet
Oh.
personally. 'Cause remember, the white women in the old west was wearing bonnets.
I ain't like them either.
I just looked at the bonnet like another version of a queen's crown for
Yeah,
black
that's
women.
true. That's true. But the bonnet just to me is. I mean, if you're trying to keep your hair down because you're going out tonight, you got your bonnet on because you had to run to the 7-Eleven. But when you're in the airport and you see everybody with bonnets on and pajamas getting ready to get on the plane, and to me, I don't know. That
But
to
you
me,
just said don't follow everybody else. You said being,
yeah, but I guess that's a personal thing.
yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me anymore. I don't guess. I had issues with it at first, but I'm like, long as you clean, as long as you don't stink, it's all right. I don't care. I don't care. But it also, this conversation makes me think about that Spike Lee movie. There's a movie he did called School Days in 1988, and it was kind of like this musical, right, on this black college campus. And I think at the time, the basis of the movie was centered around the dismantling of the system and apartheid. But the opening of the movie is a musical. Uh, opens up with a song that's called "Good and Bad Hair," and it's two sets of women from the college. One set is the wannabes. These are the light skinned chicks, with the long hair and the fancy clothes and all of that. And then on the other end of the spectrum are some sisters, and they had J's on their shirts, so they were called the Jigaboos. These were the darker skinned sisters, with natural hair, and maybe some of them wore African clothes, cultural attire. And this particular segment in the musical, it's like a battle. They're actually battling with each other with dance moves and all of this, and they talking shit and everything. But yeah, that's the whole premise of the musical is, good and bad hair, and dark skin versus light skin. But again, this was made in 1988. So it was like 34 years ago. And he brought Spike Lee. I just love how, his creative energy brought this issue to the black community. And it was eye opening to me, but clearly it wasn't eye opening to everyone that saw it because we still talking about this shit.
Right, right. But you know what? That was amazing that he did bring that to light, and he did it perfectly. Um,
Hmm.
and he addressed a lot of the issues, and even with he did it in a way. I guess at the time that everybody could see it, but I think people were just more interested in the movie. They don't look for the message because you know, um, he did it in all his movies, but I guess we just all of us don't look for the message. We just like, oh, that was good. You know.
Yeah, and remember, that movie had like a hot ass soundtrack because EU, the butt was on that soundtrack too. So a lot of people may have just invested in it because of the music or because of the fine women that were in the movie or the good looking men, and just not able to see through it deep enough to really, pick up on that message. But if you haven't watched it, check it out. School Days, DAZE, Spike Lee joint.
Yeah, Spike Lee joint. Spike Lee, yeah, he brought it. But again, you think about that 30, 35, 38 years ago. And
Mhm.
we talking about this in 2022. We still talking about light skin, dark skin, good hair, bad hair. And, you know, to me, it's all good hair. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all
It's
good hair.
because to me, good hair is hair that's kept in good condition. Texture ain't got shit to do with it.
Right, straight,
Nothing at all.
curly,
I hate when
wavy,
people. Oof,
kinky, non-kinky, whatever you got to work with it. You make it look beautiful to you. Is what you think it looks beautiful because you know, like I don't, like I said, I don't have a problem with people who have perms. No, I don't care. I could care less if people wear weaves. Who cares? They
right,
wear what they want to wear and what makes them feel beautiful.
right.
You know, I just don't like when they tell somebody else, "Oh, your hair is it looks terrible. It looks nappy. It looks bad."
Right.
But I feel like, you know, as we should have evolved, you know, we've been doing this for like we was talking about hundreds of years and we still haven't evolved. What does it take?
It's like somebody has to tell us, yes, we accept you. It's like we need to hear that from somebody in order to stop all this, you know, self hatred and, you know, attempts at conforming. But I don't even understand why we really want to conform to a society that clearly don't give a shit about us.
Right. Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Right. Right.
Like,
Because you know what?
I
You know
remember
what
people
I
look.
love?
What's that?
I love his dreads. Remember that became acceptable because he did it. He's rich. He's a rich black man, and a few of us still were like, his hair look a mess. He need to go comb his hair. You know, but it was accepting because what he was a rich black man
Are you talking about Jay Z?
with his freeform dreads. It was
Yep,
accepting.
it was. Whereas, you know, I remember somebody making a comment, a slick ass comment about mine one time because I'm free for him too. Like, that's just nasty. How does she even wash that? That's just gross. It just looks all mad. I wonder what's in there. Like, and on the inside, I'm like enraged. I'm hearing this shit. Lady, standing two people behind me in the store. I'm just enraged. I don't even know if I was so much enraged by her indirect attack on me or just the fact that she even thought stupid like that. That's so ignorant. And when people ask me, well, how do you wash it? How do you sauce it? I'm just like, most times, this is why I like to keep my shit covered. Because
But you
I
know
don't
why?
like,
Only reason I would ask was how do you wash it is because it's so damn long. Not because it's dreads, because you wash your hair like you wash your hair, right?
right.
And in your situation, I would ask, like, your hair is, longer than you. So your hair is longer than you. Your body. How do you crunch that all up in the sink?
Oh, girl.
That would be my question, but not the question about how do you wash it because hair is hair, so it's only a few ways to wash it. So
I just tell you, it's a long labor of love, honey.
yeah, and that's and and it's just we just conforming. I guess the same thing with my bonnet issue. Um, I just I don't know. It's all conforming. I feel like everything is conforming to uh what they think is acceptable. And by they, I'm talking about the Europeans, but um because I don't know what else to call them but Europeans. But
Well, but you just made me think about something, Sonia. Bo Derek, the movie 10. Remember when she wore those cornrows?
hmm
I
and
don't
it was
remember too many people getting mad about that at that time. Not
they
people.
loved it. White people were trying to get cornrows forever, and black people were trying to get her hairstyle, but she had stole from us. But now it was good to wear cornrows
Uh
and
huh.
beads.
And go to the Bahamas. That's all you see is the white girls on the beach getting braided up.
That's it. And it's like
I hope
they
they charging a grip.
I remember remember a long time ago they used to be like $1 a braid. Girl, they used to start braiding while you was getting off the plane in the airport. They'll just start braiding, and you just got 3 braids. And then me thinking, well, damn, was my hair that puffy today?
Right.
So of course you got to let her finish because she done did 3, and
Right.
you looking crazy. But yeah, that's how that was
So,
But I
but
mean,
explain this to me. When we get a perm, it straightens our hair, but when they get a perm, it curls it. Or is there?
right. It makes that wave pattern.
Okay,
It makes that wave pattern for them. And while we perm and get straight when it's straight, like theirs naturally is.
interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Hmm. I
Yeah.
don't understand you all. You don't like us, but you really trying to emulate us. Like,
And James made a comment that sitcoms back in the day pitted light against dark skin. And that is true because always the guy in the sitcom could be dark most of the time.
yeah,
But then his love interest in the movie or whatever was always light. Even in Martin,
yeah,
look at that. And
you're right.
Pam was the villain, right? She was the one that
She
was always
was
talking back at him and blah 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 blah. Right?
beady bead. He called her names and all of that. Yeah, but that's a good. I never thought about that as far as that show Martin is concerned.
Mm-hmm. And then you
But
think
like,
about it, yeah, even up to Martin, and Martin was the '90s, right?
yeah, 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 it sure was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember, like, because even like watching Soul Train stuff like that, and movies that black women were in at that time, it was always light skinned women. Jet
Mm-hmm.
magazine, like it wasn't. You didn't see a dark skinned woman that often in Ebony or Jet.
Mm-mm. And I'm sitting there now thinking because first of all, it wasn't a lot of black sitcoms in the first place. So and not a lot of black movies. But but you think about all the even and look at this. Dreamgirls, remember the movie? And Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Holliday and Beyonce. And then
Yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
Beyonce was the star, but the darker person was the best singer and the actual whatever. But then he went for the girl with the light skin. Now we in the 2000s, right?
Mhm.
So we still doing that. And he said Sanford and Son too. I'm thinking about Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son. Okay, so that was Aunt Esther. Let's
She was
see. Aunt
dark.
Esther was, yeah, her and Fred was always at it, but
Mm-hmm. But I don't
Fred's
even remember
girl,
a woman in there that was like, because Fred's girlfriend, Donna, was dark
Donna.
skinned. Donna
Well,
was brown.
she was,
She
she
was
wasn't
brown.
dark. I don't think.
She wasn't light though. I mean, I still look at Fred Sanford almost, every week or so. But
Right.
so I see Donna and Fred was, oh my God, they wouldn't play him anymore on the air. That show would not be on TV.
It would not. It would
He
not.
said some stuff. Fred is light and Esther's dark. Okay, he said Fred is light, Esther's dark. But Lamont
Mhm.
was brown, a little
He
brown.
was. But he usually had light skinned women. I don't remember him dating too many dark skinned women.
Oh, Lamont.
Even the chicks him and Rollo, would bring over for the little kickback or whatever. They was light skinned chicks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The only really the dark skinned woman was Esther, and then Donna was a little brown.
Hmm.
But everybody else, you're right, was pretty light on the But you know what I wanted to know? And this ain't got nothing to do with we talking about. Remember, Elizabeth was Esther's sister.
She was.
What did Elizabeth look like if Esther was looking like the bottom of the shoe to Fred?
Wait a minute. I think it was an episode where it was a sad episode. He was looking at Elizabeth's picture. I think Elizabeth was light skinned with long hair. I might be mixing this up with something else, but I'm pretty sure.
You know, I look at that all day. I look like 10 episodes at a time.
So you binge it.
I binge it.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it. He did the reverse racism because that man was the racist. He was hilarious. That was so funny. That was so funny. But but you think about all of those. Yeah, we just started really where roles like people with darker complexions, like Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder, was the star.
Oh yeah, show, beautiful.
You know? And I'm trying to think.
Oh, but let me say this: LaWanda Page.
Feel like on my hand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the right.
Yeah, LaWanda Page. Do you realize how fine she was when she was younger? Have you ever seen pictures of her when she was younger?
The funny thing is, I was looking her up because Fred was on her when moved in. She had to move in because her and the husband who was broke up was fighting. So he had to live. She had to live with them. So that episode, I was just looking up some stuff for her because she was, she was over there all 2 days. So this was just about a week ago. Hell, man, if you've never watched Sanford and Son, I don't discuss people's blackness, but if you ain't never watched Sanford and Son, that's the initiation.
It is. It really is. Yes.
Sanford and Son. Well, look, what's her name? Walona. She was light skinned, right? She was pretty light.
She was. Yeah, her and Thelma were about the same complexion. They were.
And Florida was dark, and JJ and James.
Right. Right. It's well. Let me not say that. No, I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. Now you have me thinking. My reasons for not really wanting to date light-skinned boys. Not really liking light-skinned boys, like when I was younger, right?
Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't know. Maybe because maybe I desired an opposite. Maybe I desired that which, I looked at and thought was beautiful because I was feeling a way kind of about myself. Number one, because I got to an age where I realized why I was light skinned. Y'all know why I'm light skinned, right? I ain't gotta say it. You already know. But I felt a way about that. So I'm thinking maybe my attraction to darker boys was because of that.
Is that why black men that so-called make it are attracted to white women? Another show.
Ooh, interesting. They're like she's the ideal trophy wife. That's a good point. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good point.
Is that something that because I feel like, but I also feel like they latch onto them as well. Like is it a book?
Oh yeah.
Is it a book that they read that they know it's a club that they have, or how to get the black guys? Which black guys are going to the NBA, the NFL, business school? Is it something that they don't tell the black girls? A class they don't allow you to take in college when you're attached to those football players.
Hey, well, remember for them, it was a time when they were sent to college. Their parents sent them to college to meet a husband, not to have a career.
And I guess some of them are still doing it, right?
Bingo. Yeah, but their parents mad as a bitch. Cause guess who's coming to dinner?
Just so you notice you never see two light skinned people together.
See?
Like, yeah, that's true too. You don't see a lot of light skinned people together. You see light skin with dark skin with light skin, two dark skin, two brown in the middle. But you know what though? But you see a lot of people now, and they be like, "Oh, let people love who they love." And you saw little LeBron James had the little white girlfriend, went to the junior prom. And I was like, I don't see nothing wrong with that because look at the school he go to and the people in his neighborhood. It's who you're around. It's when you seek out though. It's like if I'm living in the hood, but I go seek out the girl from the private prep school because I don't want to deal
Yeah.
with the girls in the hood. That's what I got a problem with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It's almost like some predator type move.
Right. Because I'm like, who's your circle? That's his circle.
Hmm.
That's your
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah, sometimes you just go off of what you know, what you've been raised around, what your parents exposed you to. Um, I don't have no judgment,
Right.
against
It's no judgment
nobody
on that.
about that like that.
Like I said, I want to know about that class though that they take that they don't. We're not privy to. But oh, he said James said he hated being called pretty boy when he was younger. People thought he was weak
Oh yeah,
because he was
what?
light
Because he was
skinned.
light and had pretty hair, and yo, that
Mm-hmm.
brother is cool as a fan.
But see, I think that's again here we are stereotyping people, like because it's not like that you are born and like you pick out your color palette. You know,
Right,
I want
right.
this hair, this color, these eyes. You don't do that. So it's not like
Although I think scientifically they are doing that now, but
well,
like, yeah,
yeah. But you got to
but
be
back then, no, no, no. Hmm.
yeah. But I just feel like it's a lot of stuff that we as black people we just got to get over. We got to move beyond it. We shouldn't have this discussion. Our kids shouldn't be having this discussion. Our grandkids shouldn't be having this discussion. You know,
Yeah, that's right. It's hurtful.
it's
It's
hurtful.
hurtful. Like Chanel said, what kind of effect could that have on a child? Like, children are resilient, but stop saying that because they may not be that fucking resilient. Like, I
Right,
don't like hearing that term all the time. Just like
right,
you go through shit, they go through shit too.
right. You're right. Well, thanks, Carrie. That was a good chat. That was a good chat.
You know what? I guess just felt almost therapeutic for me.
Yeah, me too. Because
To be able to express those pains and then be able to relate to you because you went through the same thing on the flip side.
just
You
the
know what
flip
I'm
side.
saying?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And people think it doesn't affect you, but I think honestly, it can tear a weak person down. It
Oh
can
yeah.
destroy them, but it also can make you stronger and realize, especially as you get older. Like maybe when you're
Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you don't really understand it, and it's kind of warping your mind. You know,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
but it helps the stronger people to realize, like, oh, I don't give a fuck what you saying. You know,
You gonna say what you say anyway.
you
Have
gonna
at
think
it.
what you think, say what you say. And to me now, when I hear people say stuff like that, I'd be like, Sam, that's just ignorance walking. And it don't matter
Yeah.
what color you are,
Same.
just
Hmm.
ignorance walking. I
Right.
just, it's a good conversation. And I wish more people would have it so they can get over it and move on.
Hmm.
We can stop talking about it.
Yeah. And it won't bother you anymore. It won't just like nag at you like that anymore.
Mhm.
Talk about it.
You don't have to define. I don't have to go. Oh, Carrie's light skin. Oh, Sonya's dark skin. Oh, we know. You know. We all know. You know
Cause
what I'm
if that
saying?
ain't who the fuck we are, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's not
Mhm.
your essence. So that's what I'm dealing with. Like, I've always believed since, my mind and just started awakening. I have always believed that You should deal with people in the spirit. Don't deal with people in the flesh and in the physical. Like, you should be able to connect with the unseen, with the essence of a person, because that is that person. This is not me. This is
Mhm.
not me. But if you engage with me and speak with me and you are in my presence, you will feel my essence.
Right.
That's how we need to connect with each other.
Right. Right. And you're totally right because you know you if you just judge me from what you see, you'll never know. And I'm very reserved, but
Look, but I already know people probably thought you bougie. She bougie. She thinks she this and that.
you
I'm
know,
like, y'all just don't know. Like, that's
yeah,
my homegirl.
you just don't know. You don't understand the package. But
Mm-mm.
if you want to know the package, you can't just judge from the first look. You've got to chat it up and chop it up with people to know who they are and the people that you want to connect with, and if it's somebody you want to connect with, because
Hmm.
you can look at me and I cannot say two words, but you know, I vibe out people no matter what you look like, European,
Yep.
Hispanic, melanated, whatever, Chinese. Fuck with Chinese, but
I knew it was coming. That is something else. I knew it was. Nah.
that's another show about my own fuck with Chinese, but but yeah, we but take people for not from what you see. Get to know people for who they are. And as
Right.
melanated people, especially, get to know your other melanated people. Don't judge by what they look like, what their hair look like, the color of their skin. Who cares if they have a wig or perm or straight hair, long hair, wavy hair, whatever. That has
Yep.
nothing to do with what's here.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, so we'll be back here next week, same time, same place.
I look forward to it.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.